Hello Flosstube, it's Sally here from Flossie Sews and Grows here on YouTube and also on Instagram. Today is Flosstube number 10, so we're into double figures, which is fantastic. So thank you for all the support that you've given me so far in my Flosstube journey. I think I started in September, so it's been a great few months recording and chatting to you and getting your feedback on Instagram or by message. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really lovely and I've made some really lovely new friends. So it's just been great. To celebrate, I have got a little giveaway later, which I'll tell you about a little bit later on. So I've got a kind of table here in front of me of exciting things to show you. So we'll start with fully finished objects. Got one. So can you remember this one? This is Jemima Fortune Cunningham, 1883. And this is, you're getting a bit of glare there, a little bit. Maybe if I pop it on this side. There we go, that's better. This was a freebie from Ray at Red Barn Samplers. Pretty sure you can find it on her website, but certainly I will pop a link below, and there are links in previous floss tubes where I've shown this. So this was my first foray into stitching samplers. I hadn't done one before and really wanted to try one. So I'd picked a freebie because I thought, if I don't enjoy it, I've not spent any money, and just stitched. I stitched it with the called for DMC, and I stitched it on a I think that was an antique white 32 count linen, but really enjoyed that. And I've just framed it in a cheap frame from the Range. It'll be from the Range. Yes, it's from the Range here in the UK, which is a store that does some really good value but nice frames. So really pleased with that. That's my first fully finished object. Now I actually have two others that were new starts as well. So I thought I haven't got many Valentine's things, so I stitched, oh, that's the back. I stitched these two little cushions and just backed them with some Moda fabric. So I've done these for my other half, so I've been stitching away trying to stitch behind my laptop so he couldn't see. So these again are both freebies as well, and they are from, this one is Sweetheart, and they are both from Stone Street Stitchworks. And if you have a look on the Stone Street Stitchwork blog, you will find these. So this one is called Sweetheart, and I've actually, I don't know if you can remember, but I got this little pack of sulky threads for Christmas from Lindsay Dixon, one of, well, now a friend on Facebook. She has a Facebook page called For the Love of Stitches, and she organised a Christmas exchange, an ornament exchange, and you also put some thread in, and she sent me some sulky. So I got a little pack of sulky, and I didn't know what I was going to stitch with them. So when I saw the patterns for these, I thought, fantastic, I'm going to try sulky. So this one, little Sweetheart one, I've stitched, that's colour 1169, and these are the 12 weight petites. I actually really enjoyed stitching on 32 count with these. I think those of you who follow me and regularly have watched my floss tubes will know that a couple of videos ago I had a massive dilemma about, do I want to stitch 1/2 or 2/2 on 32 count, and I've stopped stitching 2/2 on 32 count because I just don't enjoy it. I find it too thick. although I do still have some projects that I am doing 2/2, but on new projects I'm kind of phasing that out. So actually to stitch with the one strand of DMC is probably slightly thinner than one of sulky, so to stitch with one strand of sulky over 2 on 32 count was just beautiful. Really enjoyed it. So although I will very much try not to lead myself into temptation with sulky, I think that's something that will go on my Christmas birthday lists to get sulky now, because I did enjoy that, although I do stitch a lot now on 36 count and 40 count. So yeah, debatable what I'll do. So the other one, so you can see that for those of you who haven't used sulky before, it is a little bit thicker than one strand of DMC. So the other one, this is Quaker Rose, and I did that with colour 1147. And again, both of them are stitched on 32 count antique white linen that I just literally had a little 2 little squares of it left over from another project that I trimmed off. So they were just great. And I think that one I did on Sunday, so I did it just a day, and this one I think it took me 2 days, so a couple of stitching sessions, but really enjoyed them both. I think I forgot to tell you it's the 31st of January today, so a Tuesday. Yeah, so the last day of the month. It's been a long old month, hasn't it? So those were my 2 new starts, which I fully finished, and I had another sneaky new start. Let me just see if I can, I've popped my board somewhere. Let me just see if, oh, it's under my notes. It'll just make this one a little bit easier for you to see. As you know, on a Wednesday evening, I stitch Barbara Anna patterns along with my lovely friend Stitchy Sally. Go and have a watch. She's nearly up to 1,000 subscribers. Come on, people, let's get her to 1,000. So Sally and I on a Wednesday stitch Barbara Anna, and I have been stitching Dancer, and I'll show you Dancer, but I needed a break. I just needed something a bit summery and springy, and I just wanted a little new start. So I did start, and I finished in a couple of days. How many days? 4 days, I think this took me. This is Dreaming Queen Bee, and it's in a 40 count linen, probably flax or natural, I would say, from my stash bag, my magic stash bag as I call it. And I pretty much stitched this with the called for threads. The only one I changed was this beautiful blue there, and I changed that for La Belle, which is twisting around everywhere. This is beautiful. This is from Cottage Garden Threads. Just beautiful variegation on that. And that came in my Patchwork Rabbit advent calendar. So I just thought that fitted in beautifully with those colours. So that was just perfect to add that little bit of variegation on it, because actually the called for that blue wasn't a DMC. I haven't got the chart down here with me. It was something different, a make that I don't think is widely sold in the UK. So yeah, that for me, that was a really good alternative. So that was my other new start that I finished, but I just need to fully finish that. And then I had one more new start. So what was that? Four this month. and that's Eleanor Rigby, and I started this on the 15th of January, and I started this at the same time as my virtual friend Stephanie, who is Stephanie Wingett on Instagram. Go and follow her. She does some beautiful stitching, and Stephanie and I have had some lovely chats over Messenger. Really enjoyed it. Both got a love of Liverpool for various different reasons. And so Eleanor Rigby, again, most of you know that's from the Magical Mystery Tour series, the Beatles. So I'm hoping to stitch all of them. So this stitch, and I'm stitching this with all the called for Gentle Arts flosses, which are gorgeous, because there's not actually too many. So only a small start on this, but it's a start nevertheless. So an enjoyable start so far. And I'm stitching this on a beautiful, it's beautiful to stitch on fabric, which again, I don't know what it is, because it is a 40 count out of my lovely magic stash bag. So it's definitely a Zweigart originally, because it's got that orange stripe on it, but I think it has been over dyed very slightly, but yeah, I think it fits those colours perfectly. So those are my 4 new starts. I have my whips. So I have managed to get a reasonable amount of stitching done this month. I've not been working this month. I think I mentioned that in my last video. So I do have things that I do. I do a little bit of work for a local business, but it's not very much. It's not a job as such. So I do get a bit of time to stitch. So I try and do as much as I can. But obviously I have quite a busy household as well. So my partner works full time, and I have a 12-year-old. So life is busy. So sometimes you have a whip that you do have threads hanging off when you come to show them. So I do apologise for that. So this is Dancer. Many of you have seen I think she, can't decide. I think it's a she, but I occasionally think it's a he. But I think actually it is a she. But she is beautiful. It's the eyes. The eyes make her a girl, I think. So she is beautiful. She has appeared, I think, in at least 2 of my previous floss tubes. As you can see, I have made quite a lot of progress on her. So she is from Barbara Anna, and she was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher maybe last year, 2021, I think. So as you can see, I am almost finished. So this is on a 32 count Murano. It's not Splash, which was called for. It is Sparkle, because it has got instead of the snowdrops, it's got the stars instead. So I've only really got to finish this bit here and the houses and the antlers, and I'm finished. So I think actually I may get a finish on this week, and even if I don't on Wednesday, tomorrow night, it's a busy evening, there's no school tomorrow in North Wales, and I think it's similar in a lot of England and Wales, that one of the unions in the UK has balloted its members to strike, and they decided that they would strike to negotiate a pay increase. So my daughter's school is going to be closed tomorrow, and my partner is a teacher, and actually it's not the union that he is in that's striking tomorrow. However, he works 2 days a week in a school, and then the other 3 days he does supply, so it's unlikely that he will get any work tomorrow. So we have a plan for tomorrow to go to the beach locally and just enjoy. Hopefully it's not raining, but it will be cold. We're going to go with some friends and have a run around, and have a picnic. And then after that, we are going to go to Abercan, which many of you have heard of. Is a great kind of fabric warehouse that we have here in North Wales, and they do very, very good cake. So the children like going there. There's a great playground if you visit with younger children, but our children are all a little bit older now. So they may go and play on it, but they love the cake and hot chocolate. So that is our plan for tomorrow. And then my mum is coming for dinner. So I may not get a huge amount of time to stitch on Dancer tomorrow, but I think nevertheless I will try and finish her this week to start on something new the week after on my Wednesday night. So I'll talk about that when I get to my plans. So my next whip, again, busy mother, but I start stitching and then I get stopped because I've got hanging down threads again. So this is Seasons of the Heart. Let me show you this is from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher again, so which I have a digital subscription to, so I don't have hard copies of all of my patterns. So I am stitching Seasons of the Heart by the Blue Flower, and this is what it looks like when it's going to be finished. And I'm stitching this as part of the seasonal sale with the Lancashire Stitcher with Lynn. So I've made reasonably good progress on this. Now I did have a little bit, so this flower stem is actually in the wrong place. So I'd stitched that based on this bit of heart, and then started stitching this bit of stem, and I realised that I'd made a mistake somewhere. So I thought I'd made the mistake here, so I unfrogged all of this here and then counted it and realised I hadn't made the mistake there. I'd actually made it here with the heart coming down here. So I then had to unfrog this as well. So it was one of those evenings where I spent the evening stitching, and by the end of the evening I had frogged most of what I'd stitched plus a little bit more. I was a little bit cross, just a little bit cross, just and annoyed. I think it's you know, there are times where you're tired or your eyes just are a bit squiffy and maybe you've had a long day, but you still want to stitch and relax, and then the next night you come and you realise you made a mistake. And because this heart needs to be symmetrical, I had to frog it. So this stem I haven't yet taken out, because I'm just wondering if I can just, once I've done the heart on this side, whether I can rectify it, whether I can fudge it. So I finished off this bird. I've done a bit over here since you last saw it, and I've done a bit more. I've done this flower because I knew this was all in place, and so I thought, oh, if I work up this way, it will hopefully get me back to where I should be. But this is a beautiful pattern to stitch. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm stitching that on a 40 count, again out of my magic stash bag, and just loving it. So that is the Blue Flower Winter, Seasons of the Heart Winter by the Blue Flower. And then something else that I have nearly finished, but again, one of that I do stitch this one later in the evening because it's 32 count. So it's my Wee Santa, and I know Amanda at Alba Stitcher has also, I'd watched her last Flosstube with interest, because I thought she might show her progress on Wee Santa, because the Flosstube before she'd said, oh, I'm having a little bit of a not agreeing with this one, and so I was hoping that I would she'd show it, and she didn't. And I messaged her and said, oh, you didn't show Wee Santa. Anyway, I think she said she was going to do a bit more work on him before her next one and show us again. So I've got quite far with this. Again, I think this will be finished this week. So loving that, but I made a mistake again. We all do it. But I'd slightly, and I'm fudging on this. I don't think I put a picture on Instagram and said I've made a mistake. What does everybody think? And everybody said don't unpick it. Just keep on going. So somehow or another, I stitched Jolly in the wrong place, and of course that then impacted on this banner going over here. And I think this is what Amanda had also had problems with. So I've pretty much, I think, since I last spoke to you, I've finished off Santa, I've done the presents, and I've done this and the tree. I think I've done quite a lot since I last showed you. So there's really only a few bits of back stitch here on the bow, and then some of the flowers, a couple more flowers and leaves up here, and some back stitch on those as well. And I'm done with that one. So I'm looking forward to having a finish on that one. So I think if I can get 2 finishes this week, I'll be really pleased. Now I've stitched this mostly with the called for DMC. I think the brown and one of the darker colours, where I think I've got wagon wheel and hickory sticks in there as well. But the called for his coat, I didn't use. Again, I actually use this beautiful pink, which is called Le Bouton, and I haven't brought it down with me to show you. It's called Le Bouton, and again, that is from Cottage Garden Threads, and that was one that I got in my Patchwork Rabbit advent calendar. So loved stitching Santa's coat with that. It was really, that was the thing that had really attracted me to this pattern, was the colour of his coat, that it was different. So it was nice to stitch that in that Cottage Garden thread. And I think I've seen some other things being done. I think Charlie Feathers, stitches with Charlie Feathers. Charlie is doing one of is it Love Notes by Brenda Gervais. She's done the girl's dress in the same thread, and it's beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful threads. So something that I was really pleased to get in the advent calendar to try, because quite often you don't always buy one thread to give it a try, but something like the advent calendar, it's great because it gives you little things that you can try. So that was fantastic. So I actually have stitched Wee Santa on 32 count vintage country mocha, and as you can see, that is one of the ones that has been 1/2. So loved that. Looking forward to it being finished. My final whip is the Joy of Winter. So as you can see, a pair of cuttings from old curtains, just protecting it there. And I don't very often stitch in a Q-snap. I normally stitch in a hoop. That's my preference. When I started stitching again back in kind of mid 2021, I bought a Q-snap because I saw that that's what everybody was stitching with. But actually this is quite a big one, and it's great for this project because it holds it, and I don't take it out, which I don't know, is that naughty? I take everything out of my hoop every day. When I finish stitching, they come out of my hoop, they don't stay in them. But I've left this one in the Q-snap. But I do find it a bit heavy and awkward to stitch it. So again, this one gets stitched upstairs, so that I can prop it up under my light, prop it up so I can actually stitch one hand above and one hand below. Otherwise it's a bit too cumbersome doing that way. But so there we go, that's how I stitch. This is the Joy of Winter, and it is from Stitching Through the Years, and this is a freebie that my lovely friend, again Sally, she constantly enables me. Sally started in December as a Sal, can't remember the name. I think The Joy of Winter, Sal, perhaps, maybe. And I didn't start it straight away because I had quite a lot of Christmas stitching going on, and I thought, no. And then I couldn't resist. So I made a start. So since the last time you saw it, I've done quite a bit of this, filled in quite a bit of this house. I've done the door, and then I've come over here to start on the reindeer. So it's slightly slow going, but actually once I've got that house done and started here, this is a little bit quicker. Although I am finding this is a 36 count country vintage mocha. I do find the white quite difficult to stitch on this. Colours, great, but there's a big lot of snow all along the front there of that. And let me just show you a picture of what it's going to look like. And I do find the white difficult on 36. So that's what it will look like when it's done. And again, that's as it's a free one, that's one that I've downloaded. That was a PDF. So again, I haven't got a hard copy of that. So those are all my whips. Just pull some more stuff towards me. So I think I haven't worked on, I'm loving using my PDF of my stitchy. So I got a stitching journal from the Stitching Cabin, but I bought the PDF version rather than the hard copy version because I just wanted to see what I would like. And this is the thing I use the most, the whip tracker. And so here you can see January, and I think I like it because I can just go in and I can just tick. And I need to just experiment a little bit with colours. So I've used pink when I've had a finish, but I've used pink down here as well when I've had a start. So I just need to experiment a little bit with that. But really liking that. And I think at the beginning, the Flosstube at the beginning of January, I think I said I wanted to try and do at least 2 sessions on every single whip in January. Well, I didn't. And hey, that's fine. You know, my rules, I can break them. But it did get me stitching on a couple of things that I perhaps wouldn't have stitched on. So there were, I think, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think there are 4 that I said I would stitch 2 sessions on. Whether a session could be 20 minutes, could be half an hour, could be 2 hours. So there are a couple that I haven't yet stitched on in January, but I think, yeah, made some really good progress. I did a couple of new starts, 3 new starts that I finished, 2 of which are fully finished, and I'm really quite close to a finish on Dancer and on, what was the other one I'm nearly finished? Wee Santa. So I think once I finish those, I have got a couple of new starts in mind, but actually I have got some time. I'm away during half term, so I have got at least one old project that I think is 20 could be on 28 count. So I think I don't want to bin it. I don't want to stop stitching on it. Although I'm not a great fan now of 28 count because I've gone smaller and smaller, but I think I might actually take that one away because that should be a relatively easy stitch if the light's not as great or if I can't see quite as well. So I think some of my old whips will get done, and that there's some of them that I think I haven't shown you today, but I showed you on my last Flosstube that I have stitched on. So I think Witch Ride I finished at the beginning of the month, and that was an old whip. So there are things I think that will get done. I'm not getting rid of anything. So I do love that kind of tracker that I can just put a little tick in. So I'll be doing that again in February. So my plans, so I think I've got plans for 1 new start, definitely. And I think I showed you this pattern last time. I bought it on eBay. So that's, yeah. So I'm going to start this. Lily Oski. So this is Lily, or rather it's going to be Felicity, because it's going to be for my daughter Felicity on her little skis. So I think I've got most of the called for threads for that. Most of the called for threads, not quite all of them. So I just need to go through. I'm not gonna buy the actual called for if I haven't got it. I'll just substitute, because I think some of them it's just a few stitches. So, and then I'm just going to do that on 32 count country vintage mocha, as I got quite a lot of that for Christmas. So that is going to be a new start. I think I might have said on my last video I was going to start it, but I didn't. I think I'd said on my last video I really wanted to aim to do between 20 to 23 whips. I think I got up to 18, and I didn't want to start anything new. I just thought, no, I don't want a new start yet. I want to carry on stitching what I'm stitching and finish it and finish things. So I think maybe 15, 16, 17, 18 is maybe about right for me. We'll see. But so I think I might have said to you last time I was going to start Lily, but I didn't. So that is the plan once I have finished probably Wee Santa. And then for my Wednesday night stitch, obviously I stitch Barbarana. So I'm in two minds. I have already got Holy Night stitch kitted up, but it's Christmas, so I'm not sure. I've got the Joy of Winter, I've got Peace on Earth. I haven't shown you this time because I haven't put any stitches in it, and got Moonshine Cabin. Haven't put any stitches in that since I last spoke to you. They're kind of wintry, Christmassy, wintry. So I think, I'm not sure about Holy Night. I think maybe I want to move on from Christmas, so I might just leave that until maybe July and do that for Christmas in July. So my options on Barbara Anna are, I'm thinking either of doing Frida. So this is Frida Kahlo, and she is in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. That's where I get most of my Barbara Anna from at the moment, because I'm trying to stick to a budget. Or Spring in My Heart. So those are my, and actually I think with that one, again, the blue around the heart, I might use that Cottage Garden thread again, that blue. So those I think are my two options for my Wednesday night stitching with Sally on Barbarana. But I know Sally's going to do spring as part of the seasonal sale, so she won't start that till March. So I might do Frida first and then do the spring around the same time that Sally is, so that we can be stitching along on that one together. I just need to have a look. I will have no doubt some fabric in my magic stash bag that I can use for this, but I just need to have a look if I've got threads or alternative threads which I can use for that. So next, I'm going to show you some Stitchy Kindness. Had some fabulous. I've had an amazing week. I have had the most amazing week. So I entered a little competition on my friend Kim, my virtual friends. We chat. We do talk to each other on Instagram. And she had a couple of, maybe two weeks ago, she did a little competition to give away a chart that she had won and was in her stash, and she stitched it and then said, actually, I'm going to give it away to somebody, so I'm going to pass the joy along. So I won it. I was really pleased, and I'm very sorry to Charlie Stitches with Charlie Feathers, because the little wheel that ticks around ticked, and it ticked onto Charlie, and then it just ticked one little bit further onto my name, and I feel that I robbed Charlie of a win, but yeah, sorry Charlie. So I won this little chart by Bent Creek, which is Snapper, colour red from the World of Colour Snapper series. This is very cute, and I really like, I love a cardinal. Now, they're not a bird that we get here in the UK, and I know that there are stitchers out there who don't want to stitch cardinals on patterns when they live in the UK because they're not a bird native to our country, and quite often I know a few people will go and do a brown bird with a red breast like a robin, but actually I do love all the cardinals on patterns. So this actually is a fantastic little chart for me. So I was really pleased to have won that. And Kim also included some of the called for threads, which are the fancy flosses, and actually the other ones that are needed for this I already have. So the Weeks Dye Works sweet potato I have, which because I'd kitted up another chart quite a long time ago I haven't stitched, that has in it, and yeah, so that worked out really well. And then also the little buttons that go with it. Let me show you on my board. It's really cute, and it was lovely because Kim sent me a gorgeous card, really nice card, and with a little sticker in, and also some other little stickers. So I think what I will do, I do get a layout in my stitching journal like this, but I'm not terribly neat. So I think maybe what I need to do is perhaps maybe at the end of the month use my tracker to then write in what I've done and use pretty stickers to make it all look a bit more beautiful. But I was absolutely thrilled with that. And then I have also won something on Instagram this morning. I've won a chart of my choice from Puntini. So I will tell you about that in my next Flosstube, because by then hopefully I will have chosen and be able to talk about it a little bit more. So I did have a little bit of haul. So first of all, let me tell you first, I've full of stitchy kindness. I had actual stitchy fun, real stitchy fun. So I met up this week with Crafty Kate, or Fabrics by Kate, on Instagram. Kate lives quite close to me, and I joined her Fabric of the Month club just before Christmas, and obviously she realised that I live quite close to her, and then I realised, so we realised we don't live too far away from each other. So we have had a little meetup this week, and so we met somewhere local to both of us, and she brought her little girl along who is just so adorable, but she took one look at me and burst into tears. But bless her, she's absolutely gorgeous. And it was so lovely. It was so lovely too. We didn't actually get chance to stitch because we were talking way too much, and Kate's little girl was really keeping us quite amused. But we did take our projects with us, so we both showed what we were stitching on at the moment, which was really lovely. And so it was just amazing. It was amazing to meet up with a like-minded stitcher and share some chat about stitching. So it was lovely, and I'm hoping that Kate has messaged me already to say, shall we meet up next week? So dependent on a few things of what's going on for both of us, we're hoping to do that. So part of my haul was actually my Fabric of the Month, which Kate actually brought along. So this is the Fabric of the Month. So I am on 36 count linen, and let me just see if you can see that, what the colour is like. It's a peachy pinky colour with some, just trying to get a good, but absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And this is a 13 by 18 piece, so quite a reasonably good sized piece, which I'm sure I can get. There are a couple of samplers that I've got my eye on. Yeah, so absolutely thrilled with that. So it was nice to get it in person, really nice to get it in person. So that is a little bit of my haul from this week. And then I also, one of my friends actually popped this in a stash and load page on Facebook, and I whipped it up. So and actually Kate and I have had a chat. We both have our eye on Mighty Oaks from Little Acorns Grow, because we've both now got this booklet. Let me just see if there's a bigger. And I know many of you out there will have probably stitched it, but for those of you who haven't, there we go. There we go. We are thinking about doing a stitch along with this one, possibly at the end of February or in March, we're thinking. So we're going to have a chat about that next week. So keep an eye out for Kate's next Flosstube, and by then we should have made a decision on what we're going to do with a stitch along with that. So Kate's, her Flosstube, she's just done her first one maybe 10 days ago, and it's Fabrics by Kate. Go and have a watch. She's so lovely. She's so lovely, and she was a little bit nervous in her first one, but we've chatted quite a bit, and I think she's going to be much more confident, and really, I think she really enjoyed her first Flosstube. So it's going to be great to see number 2, which hopefully won't be too long. So yeah, so I've talked about my plans, just having a look at my notes. I've got one thing left. Which is a little giveaway. So I was contacted last week by Karina, and she is on Instagram. She's Happy X Craft. So HAPPYX Craft, and her website is www.happyxcraft.com. Now, Karina is based in Berlin in Germany, and she has just opened up an online shop for cross stitch patterns that she is designing. So she dropped me a message last week and said, oh, I'd love a message or some feedback. Would you have a look at my patterns, and would you like a pattern in return for having a look and giving me a mention and giving me a shout out? And I was like, absolutely, that'd be lovely. But I probably would like to be able to give it away to my a YouTube subscriber of mine on my channel, if that's okay. And she was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'll send you 3. So I'm able to give away 3 of Karina's patterns. These will be PDFs, so I will send you I will send those over to you, and please go and have a look. So go and have a look at Karina's shop. So it's www.happyxcraft.com. She's got some fabulous patterns, really nice. So there's 3 that she has given me the opportunity to give to you. So YouTube rules. I need to think about this. So please be over 18 so that you can give me your email address so that I can get a pattern over to you. This is open to internationally, because it is sorry, I'm just watching. My chickens are outside. I just thought I saw a cat out there. Maybe not. So this is open internationally because it's a PDF, so I'm not having to post anything to you. I'm going to give you a word for each pattern, so if you can mention that word in comment down below, if you can be a subscriber, please. And please, no mention of giveaway or anything like that. I think over the last week there have been quite a few Flosstubers who have been hit by spammers, who have been replying to messages saying people have won something and please follow this link to claim your prize. I will come back onto my next Flosstube and tell you who has won, and you know, I won't ask you to click on a link at all. I will ask you to get in touch with me, probably via email or Instagram Messenger. So, you know, I won't send a link or anything like that. So if you would like to win, first of all, we have got Merry and Bright, and this is what Merry and Bright looks like. Let me try and get so this is Merry and Bright. If you would like to win a PDF of Merry and Bright, please put the word Merry in your comment below. Then the other pattern I have is Lovely Pumpkin. This is a gorgeous, oh, let me try and get somewhere where we haven't got any glare from the light or the door or the ring light. Oh no, terrible, fail. There we go. There we go. So this pattern's called Lovely Pumpkin. So if you can put the word pumpkin, and then this beautiful, no, you can, the glare's horrendous, I'm so sorry. There we go. This beautiful pansy, beautiful, beautiful pansy. How rude, I reached the maximum filming time, so my camera switched me off. So I'm going to be very, very brief. So if you'd like to win this beautiful pattern, if you can comment below with the word pansy. So we've got Merry, Pumpkin and Pansy, and I will announce those on my next Flosstube, which will probably be in about 2 weeks' time. So good luck, and if you could be a subscriber to my channel, please, that would be fantastic. As you know, I have a little competition with my friend's husband. For the first one to reach 500, the other one has to buy them a bottle of Prosecco. I'm still not quite there, so please, if you haven't already subscribed, that would be wonderful, because I do like a little glass of fizz now and again. So thank you for joining me. It's been wonderful to chat to you as ever. I do really enjoy it. I do really enjoy showing you what I've been up to. I do love chatting about stitching. So it's great to be able to do that and to share with you what I'm doing, because I in turn love watching all of you out there who do Flosstubes. So, you know, my usual, I always watch Sally, Stitchy Sally, and Stitches with Charlie Feathers, and Yasmin, Made with Love, Tiny House Stitcher, Angie, and Marie, Diamonds with Stitches with Diamonds. I just love, and I'm sorry, just off the top of my head, I hadn't planned to say who I watch, but there's quite a lot of you out there that I do. And actually I've watched a few more new Flosstubes recently that I perhaps should do a little list at the next, on my next, write them down on my next Flosstube of who I've discovered and who I've enjoyed watching, because there are quite a few old, you know, old as in have been doing Flosstubes for quite a while, as well as new Flosstubes. So, you know, I do really enjoy watching Flosstube when I'm stitching, and when I'm at home during the day on my own, if I manage to get half an hour to stitch, I normally do it while I'm watching a Flosstube. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your comments and your likes, and for subscribing. It really does mean a lot, because it's you know, it's wonderful to be able to share this with you, and it's wonderful to be part of a community. I really have got some lovely friends now that I chat to, and we comment on each other's work, and again, you know, it's really nice to actually then be able to meet up with somebody in person, like Kate and I have done this last week. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you soon. Have a wonderful couple of stitchy weeks and enjoy. Take care. Bye bye.